Hello, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. I thought this week I'd spend time talking about promises of God. Now, God throughout Scripture makes a number of different promises. And we've got the assurance that God is someone who does not lie. And so this week, let's take 5 days and each day find a video thought that gives us a promise that God has made to us and does so in a way that gives us something to hold on to each day. And because we can rely upon the promises of God. So I thought I'd start out this very first one and use a passage out of the prophet Isaiah. Now in the 54th chapter of Isaiah, verse 10, this Old Testament prophet says the following, quoting God, "Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, and my covenant of peace will not be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you." I love this. I love this promise because, frankly, I've not seen the mountains shaken. I've not seen the hills be removed. But God says that will sooner happen. A hill will be gone before God's covenant of peace, before God's unfailing love for us will be removed. So yesterday, I got to preach the main church, and I preached on the 10th commandment. I was assigned the commandment, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." And I used as a teaching opportunity the fact that in the Old Testament concept and in the New, God is in a sense the spouse of his people. And that promise that God calls upon us, or the command that God calls upon us not to commit adultery, doesn't just apply in our marriages, but that's a command that applies to our relationship with God and God's relationship with us. If you want more of that, you can get a link down below. I'll see if Brent would link it up so that you can go listen to the sermon, and then you get 30 minutes of it instead of this 4. But the point is the same. God will never commit adultery on us. And by that I mean, God does not betray his commitment to you or to me. A mountain can sooner be shaken, a hill can sooner be removed than God's compassionate love and commitment and the blessing of his peace would be removed from us. Now, peace, even that word alone, shalom in the Hebrew, it's got a wide semantic range of meaning, everything from peace in a normal sense to prosperity to satisfaction. And that's what God gives us. That's the assurance we have before God. And so with that assurance that God's unfailing love for us will not be shaken, with that assurance that his compassion will always be there, we've got a promise to hold on to today. I don't care what's in front of you, God still loves you. I don't care what you've got that scares you, God still has compassion for you. I don't care what you've got that's shaking your world. God's love and peace should not be shaken from you. That's a promise from the God who doesn't lie. And that's a promise we need to take hold of today. Doesn't mean our life will be perfect, but it means we'll never be out of the touch and care and concern of our God of unfailing love and peace. Tomorrow, another promise from God. But this is your video thought for today.